Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope everyone is well. So this is a continuation of the previous video which I did about quadratic inequalities. I went through some problems regarding the concept of quadratic inequalities, and in this video I'm going to go through some different type of problems uh, regarding this concept. So I hope you like and enjoy this video. So let's go straight in with the calculator intro. So problem number 6 is of the same type which we did before in the previous video. So I'll go to problem number 7, which says solve x square is less than or equal 100. So if I go to my notepad and use my pen tool, you have to solve that x square is less than or equal 100. This is what it says, right? So how can you solve this? So if I take the 100 here and simplify this inequality, x square minus 100 is less than or equal to 0. So we can use the formula of a square minus b square. So we can also write this as x square minus 10 square is less than or equal 0, or
x plus 10 and x minus 10 is less than or equal 0.
So what are the critical points from this inequality? If you look at the critical points are, if you use minus 10 here, so x plus 10 is 0, so x is minus 10, and x minus 10 is 0, so x is 10. So the critical points are 10 or minus 10 and 10. So these are the critical points. So now we have to get the intervals from here. So we have three intervals, which is minus infinity to minus 10, and the second interval is from minus 10 to 10, and the third interval is from 10 to positive infinity, right? So this is the first
interval, minus infinity to minus 10. This is the second interval, minus 10 to 10, and the third interval is from 10 to infinity.
So if you take one value from each of these intervals, let's say what is between minus infinity and minus 10, let's say something like minus 11. Let's use minus 11 as a value and use it in this equation or inequality. So if you use minus 11 here, minus 11 plus 10 and minus 11 minus 10
is what? So minus 11 plus 10 is what? And minus 11 minus 10. Minus 11 minus 10. So this is what? This is minus 11 plus 10 is minus 1, and minus 1 multiplied by minus 11 minus 10 is minus 21. So if we multiply minus 1 with minus 21, we get positive 21, which is
greater than 0. So it does not suffice the condition less than or equal to 0. So the first interval is a condition of false. So let's look at second interval. What is between minus 10 and 10? Let's say 8. Let's use this reference value and use this in the inequality. So 8, if you use 8 plus 10 and 8 minus 10. So
what is 8 plus 10 and 8 minus 10?
8 plus 10 is 18 and 8 minus 10 is minus 2. So the multiplication is 18 multiplied by minus 2, which is minus 36. Now this is less than 0. So it does suffice the condition, which is less than or equal to 0. So this is true. The second interval is true condition. So let's now take one value from the third interval. What is between 10 and infinity? Let's say 11, and use this value in this inequality. So what will be 11 plus 10? 11 minus 10.
So 11 plus 10 and 11 minus 10. So what is the value? What is the result? 21 into 1, which is 21 again.
So this is greater than 0. So it does not suffice this condition less than or equal to 0. So this is false. So what is the solution of this inequality? X belongs to an interval which is minus 10 to 10, and I have to use the open bracket because it's a less than or equal, so it's inclusive, so it has to be interval which is inclusive. This is inclusive and this is exclusive. So inclusive of what? The range is minus 10 to 10. Minus 10 to 10. So this is, and the close is also inclusive. So this range minus 10, any value within this range minus 10 to 10 including minus 10 and positive 10 suffices this inequality. So this is the solution. So problem number 8 and 9 are similar, so you can do it yourself. I'll just look at problem number 10, which is also similar but slightly different in terms of middle term. So let's do problem number 10. So it says solve 6x squared plus 11x minus 10 is less than 0. So if I go to my notepad, it says what? 6x squared plus 11x minus 10 is what? Is less than 0. So you have to solve this inequality. This is what it is. Okay. So if we simplify this using middle term, so what is the multiplication of 6 and 10? 60. So 60 can be divided, split among 15 and 4 to get the value of middle value or middle term of 11. So we can do
6x squared plus 15x minus 4x minus 10. That is less than 0.
Or we can use what can we take common from 6x and 6x squared and 15x? 3 or thrice x, right? Thrice x into twice x. So the multiplication between thrice x and twice x is 6x squared plus 5 minus 4, or is it 5? Yeah, it's 5. And what can we take common from 4x minus 10? We can't take 4, but we can take 2. So you can take 2 into twice x, and minus is plus. So twice x plus 5 is less than 0. Or we can also write thrice x minus 2 and twice x plus 5 is less than 0. So this is the simplified two term factor inequality. So as we can see, we have to find the critical points. Now to find the critical points, we can take this specific term as 0. So thrice x minus 2 is 0. So x is what? 2 by 3. And in this case, it should be what? Twice x plus 5. Similarly, twice x plus 5 equals 0. So x is what? minus 5 by 2. So what are the critical points? Minus 5 by 2 and 2 by 3. These are the two critical points. So if you look at the three intervals from minus infinity to, the first interval is from minus infinity to minus 5 by 2. The second interval is from minus 5 by 2 to 2 by 3. And the third interval is from 2 by 3 to positive infinity. So this is the first interval. This is the second interval. And this is the third interval. So if you take a value from the first interval, let's say something like, what is between minus infinity and minus 5 by 2? Minus 5 by 2 is basically minus 2.5. So let's say minus 3. Let's take the value minus 3 and use it in this inequality. So if we use minus 3 in the inequality, what do we get?
3 into minus 3. 3 into minus 3 minus 2. This is one term. Another term is what? 2 into minus 3. 2 into minus 3 plus 5. Right. Plus 5. This is what? What is this value? So if we use if we get the value, 3 into minus 3 is minus 9, minus 2 is minus 11, multiplied by minus 6 plus 5 is minus 1. So the multiplication is 11,
which is greater than 0. So does it suffice the condition? It doesn't, because it's less than 0. So the first interval is false. So let's similarly take a value from the second interval. What is between minus 5 by 2 and 2 by 3? Let's say minus 5 by 2 is minus 2.5. Let's say minus 1. Okay, so let's say minus 1. So if you use the value minus 1 in this inequality, so 3 into minus 1.
3 into minus 1 minus 2 minus 2. This is one term, and the product of another term is 2 into minus 1 plus 5. 2 into minus 1 plus 5. So what is the result of this? 3 into minus 1 is minus 3 and minus 2 is minus 5. Multiplied by 2 into minus 1 is minus 2 plus 5, which is plus 3. So this is what? Minus 15.
So this is less than 0. So it does suffice the condition which is less than 0. So the second interval is true. And for the third interval, let's say a value is, let's say 2. Let's take the value 2. So what is if you use the value 2 here, so we get 3 into
2. 3 into 2 minus 2 minus 2. This is one term, and another term is 2 into 2 plus 5. 2 into 2 plus 5. So what is the value? 3 into 2 is 6. 6 minus 2 is 4. And this is 4 plus 5, which is 9, which is what? 36.
And this is greater than 0. So it does not suffice this condition less than 0. So the third interval is also false. So the only true interval is the second interval. So the solution to this equation or inequality is x belongs to, because there is no equal, you can use the excluding interval. So the range is what? Minus 5 by 2 and minus 5 by 2 and 2 by 3. 2 by 3. So this is the solution of this inequality. So these are some of the aspects that I wanted to cover in the last two videos regarding the concept of quadratic inequality. In the next video, I'll come up with another topic. So till then, stay tuned for that and take care.